Developing now, there's an evacuation order for Cott County, Tennessee. The mayor there says the WTVC dam has, quote, catastrophically failed. He ordered all of downtown Newport to evacuate. Now TEMA says that according to Duke Energy, the dam has not failed. Evacuations were already underway for the Pigeon and French Broad River areas. The Chattanooga Fire Department says they and other agencies are sending teams to help with the situation. Again, this is a developing story that we are still watching right now. And Chattanooga saw some flooding earlier yesterday with several roads closed this morning. This is footage of the flooding at Riverfront Parkway and Reggie White Boulevard. You can see inches of standing water there that had the whole area impassable. Part of Washington Street was also shut down this morning. Our crew saw one vehicle left sitting out in the water there, and flights at the Chattanooga airport were also delayed by the heavy rainfall. And elsewhere in Tennessee, helicopters rescued dozens of people trapped on a hospital roof because of the storm. It happened at Unicoi County Hospital in Irwin. 54 people were moved to the roof because of dangerous, fast-rising water inside and outside of the building. That includes at least 11 patients. 7 people were rescued by boat, and at least 2 choppers were part of the operation. There's no word on any injuries or fatalities. In Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp provided an update on the loss of life and damage from Helene during the news conference yesterday afternoon. Take a listen.
At this time, this has been a deadly storm. We've had 11 confirmed fatalities. I would ask all Georgians, like the Kemp family's doing, to keep these folks and these communities in your thoughts and prayers. We know that one of those was a first responder. When we ask people to stay off the roads and be patient, it's because we are trying to get to people. It is a very dangerous environment, and one of our finest has lost his life trying to save others.
The governor also said that dozens of people are still known to be trapped inside buildings that were damaged during the storm. He also noted the difficulties first responders were facing with transportation as trees were blocking roadways. The governor said the state had multiple chainsaw teams out working to reopen those roads. North Carolina's governor says Helene is causing life-threatening flash flooding in the western part of the state. Officials know of at least 2 deaths in the state so far. Flooding across the state is expected to continue into the weekend. Helene is also causing landslides in western North Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper is warning people across the state not to drive anywhere if they can help it.
Because conditions are continuing to worsen, people in western North Carolina should consider all roads closed unless you are seeking higher ground.
Cooper also says the end of the rain from the storm does not mean the danger from the storm is over. And 2 people were hurt in a shooting on Highway 58 yesterday. The Chattanooga Police Department says our crews on the scene saw 2 people being loaded into ambulances. We spoke to Chief John Chambers, who tells us the 2 victims are expected to survive. He says there is currently no threat to the community. CPD is still on scene gathering information. And the state of Tennessee will be looking elsewhere for a place to build a new psychiatric hospital. That's after an archaeological survey's findings revealed how much important history can be found at Moccasin Bend. Governor Bill Lee discussed the change of plans while here in Chattanooga yesterday.
There are important historical artifacts. There are potentially important burial sites. There is historical important evidence there that we do not need to move forward with building the hospital on Moccasin Bend.
The mayors of both Chattanooga and Hamilton County also expressed support for the decision, noting the historical significance of the site. And News Channel 9's Meg Doyle spoke with advocates about what the preservation of Moccasin Bend means to them.
Just to think it's going to be a virtual classroom for us all, for our generation and for generations to come. It's not going anywhere.
The first archaeological review of the Moccasin Bend since 1961 revealed areas within the parcel exhibit excellent preservation and integrity, according to the state.
This is the culmination of decades of advocacy for Moccasin Bend, for the history, the preservation of an almost unprecedented amount of human history that relatively recently, I think, our community came to recognize.
The final report of the findings will be released in November.
We're super grateful that the state of Tennessee chose to do an archaeological survey before proceeding, because that survey showed what we already knew, which is that there's no place on Moccasin Bend that's not significant.
Other parts of the plan include moving the firing range and the current mental health institute at the Moccasin Bend.
We'll continue to operate the Moccasin Bend health facility until we find another site, but we will immediately start looking for alternative sites.
But for now, advocates will continue to push for preservation of the land.
We're not going to let up the momentum. Now's the time to really capitalize on this community excitement about creating the full national park, to remove the hospital, remove the firing range, and let's get going.
Governor Bill Lee said that he talked to the commissioner of the Department of Mental Health, and starting Monday, they will begin the process of looking at sites to relocate the Moccasin Bend Mental Health Institute. Still to come, we take a look at the aftermath Hurricane Helene did for one South Georgia community, coming up after the break. Hurricane Helene damaged dozens of homes in Valdosta. Reaction from the community after the impact of Hurricane Helene. WALB's Brittany Blake has the latest.
Out right now, but I was on the phone with somebody standing in my carport and next to my car, and heard the tree fall.
A reality many people endured last night as Hurricane Helene ripped through Valdosta. Areas around Jerry Jones Road were among the hardest hit over the past few years with Tropical Storm Debbie and Hurricane Idalia. Homeowner Beverly Henderson nearly escaped a similar situation, a tree falling on her home moments after she took refuge in her safe space.
It wasn't bad till around, it seemed like 12 o'clock. And we started hearing these really loud noises, like trees falling. And so I got in the closet, the walk-in closet, and it's a good thing I did, because a tree fell in the house over our bed.
Those kinds of stories can be found down the entirety of Jerry Jones Road and the neighborhoods across the city. This storm brought some of the worst damage this city has seen in years. Survivors telling us this was much worse than the previous storms.
I've never sustained anything like this, nor do I ever want to go through anything like this again. I'm sure just like much of Valdosta.
But this is worse than the last storm that came through here, a lot worse.
We did lose some trees last time, but the damage was nothing like this time.
Lots of cleanup across the southeast, and that's going to take some time. And we're certainly thinking of those that have to deal with that. Now, yesterday, we ended up in Chattanooga at Level Field officially with 3.42 inches of rain. But if you take into account the last 3 days, that would be yesterday and then also Thursday and Wednesday, the total amount of rain was 5.2 inches. So that took a big bite out of our departure, almost cut it in half to now 6.34 inches below the average for this time of year. Well, we still have the remnants of the tropical weather maker off to our northwest. And as we talked about yesterday, if you were with us during our weathercast throughout the day and night, stationary is the best way to put this. It's just not moving much. And as a result, we're going to be kind of caught still in the circulation of that storm system. And as a result, still some wind and some light rain and drizzle. Not a real pretty day today. Probably some fog as well. I've been seeing that on our storm cams here since the sun has come up. And, it's not impossible that we'll see some sunshine, but I just want you to know that we are going to be looking at the chances for some light rain and drizzle, like on the windshields, that kind of thing. So hour by hour kind of shows us that with either rain or showers or drizzle, however you want to put it. Temperature's not moving hardly at all as we go through the day today, but I still think we could get to around 71 for the high, but that might be a struggle. Light rain, drizzle, then just cloudy skies a little later on as we go into the evening. Again, this isn't going to be just all the time necessarily, the light rain and drizzle. It's going to be kind of off and on. But we can see it clearly here on Future Track as we start off late this morning at 11 a.m. And here's some of that, what we just saw, the very light rain and drizzle over the area. The counterclockwise flow from that low pressure continues to spin the clouds and some light rain into the area, even into tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, I think we'll start to see the first signs of the tropical storm moving away a little bit. And then as we get towards Monday, you can still kind of see the counterclockwise circulation of the clouds, but then we should see some clearing by the time we get to Monday. And the work week is actually looking pretty nice. So we have 71 degrees for the high today, 76 tomorrow. But the big deal is that we still have some light rain and drizzle around today and tomorrow, and some foggy conditions and some breezy conditions at times, as we still feel the effects of the tropical weather system as it has joined now with upper level low pressure. Then Monday through Friday look mainly dry, and temperatures are coming up to around 80, and we'll have more and more sun as we go along.